Greetings, fellow captains, and welcome back to another episode of World of Warships with the Hivehound. And well, I've gone back to doing what I should be doing, and grinding. And this was the final battle. I needed to get enough XP in at the good old King George to unlock the Vanguard. And this video, it was a pretty good game. I'm not, it was not spectacular, but in no way, shape, or form was it a bad match. But there was a particular situation that turned up in this, and basically I had, if I remember right, off the top of my head at the start here, I think it's a Fubuki basically harassing me the entire time. So I want to talk a little bit about tactics for battleships to stop you from getting sunk by destroyers and getting torpedoes. Now we'll explain as we're sort of going along here. So as you can sort of, if you pay attention to the map, we're getting up into a cluster of small islands. I'd been detected. Right, I turned broadside here because I knew I could get away with putting some broadside shots into this Dunkirk without him really being able to do very much about it at all. We set a nice 2 fires, which he immediately puts out, which is slightly unfortunate for us. And as you can see, that's our fighter returning because we accidentally hit the fighter button right at the start of the map. But we're still detected. So, alright, there's a destroyer in the middle, but he's not within our detectability range. So we know, and as yet I've just gone undetected, but I am still spotted by the Dunkirk's spotter plane. So we know there's something lurking around here. The likelihood that there is a destroyer lurking around, and there we go. And wow, not the greatest DD player, because he spammed all 3 of his salvos straight on the aiming reticle. So when you see patterns like that, you know you're dealing with probably not the most experienced destroyer player in the match, in the game. So it becomes kind of easy. It becomes easier to deal with. So if we pay attention, there's a cluster of islands here, so the pattern of which those torpedoes came across, he's in a really tight, confined space. And we know that because he had to have shot in between those islands. So 2 things could have happened. He could have pushed down, which we would have spotted him by now, or he's turned back and headed back in the general direction of that Sean host. So you're going to see exactly how to deal with destroyer players in a battleship. And like you see on Facebook all too much. I tend not to post in Facebook at all, because, well, it's Facebook. It's an awful place, and I tend to end up getting tied up in ridiculous arguments, and it's just not a nice place. There is nothing that I can see that's positive to be gained from the Facebook communities at the moment. So as you can see, what we're doing is we're making adjustments. Okay, granted, I am still sailing at speed. We know we're detected, but in all fairness, that could be the Sean host, so we're not 100% sure. So look at this, it's quite simple. I'm just turning my ship, and oh look, there we go. There's torpedoes. Right, okay, so we know he's closer to the map border because of the angle that he's at. We're undetected now, so he's somewhere the other side of this island. And this is something key, is noting when you're spotted. Now, okay, that doesn't matter. It's clearly the Sean host that has spotted us there. And I'm not really getting any support from my team. The battleship, the one battleship that's sort of on this flank with me is having a chill behind an island. Maybe he's seen the torpedoes and he thought, nope, not at all. We're not all about that. But the key is just doing simple things like this, and you can tie up a destroyer for the entirety of the match. And literally, it's as simple as just occasionally turning your ship to throw off their aim. So we're gonna, in all fairness, I'm trying to time it right. I'm thinking, right, how much of a reload time has he got? And well, when to set my plane up. And here we go. We check the plane up. Absolutely no need. Look at that. We turned, you can see 2, and well, there's the 3rd. So he obviously fired whilst I was in the process of turning, and we're just gonna pick on this Scharnhorst. Scharnhorsts are all German battleships are really vulnerable to fire. So why you bully me with fire? I'm angled pretty well against him. Unless I give him flat broadside, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. He could, or she could, being Leo's girl, could spam me with HE, which would be far more effective. But they've just changed direction, and as you can see, they are now accelerating towards us. So we know roughly our plane should run out at about the time the Fubuki's torps are gonna come back in our general direction. There we go, another fire on the Scharnhorst. And yeah, arsonist and a kill. That's 90,000 damage. So all in all, not bad. Right, okay, so we know we're still detected. The torpedoes, the last two sets of torpedoes have both come from our right. And look at that again. They're coming from the right. So my plan is, I'm going to basically force this destroyer into a situation where hopefully it's not going to end too well for him. We're looking at the map. Look, he can be to the right of us. We're too close to the side. He's not going to be able to sneak past us. And there we go again. Look, I'm not doing anything special. I'm not doing some ridiculously hard, complex maneuvers. I am just occasionally turning left and turning right to throw off the aim. And it is that easy when you're aware that there's a destroyer around. So if you see that spotted symbol, assume there's a DD if there's in play, if there's a DD in the game. And yeah, we forced him into a corner. We know we forced him into a corner, and this is where it's a very late stage of the game. We've won. If we can kill this Fubuki, great. Even if he kills us at this point, it's not going to make much of a difference to the outcome. So we slam on the brakes. We try and turn. Spoiler alert! Look, he's 2 kilometers away. If he missed those torpedoes, you know, there'd be something wrong with him. So we do die, but we kept that destroyer busy that entire match. Took him out of the game, and all it took was a little bit of occasionally turning left and right. And Salt Life was his name. Salt Life. I like how he used his smoke screen at the end there, just in case he got away with it. And thankfully our secondaries did take him out. And in all fairness, I think we can probably skip forward at this point to... Oh, are we going to skip forward? Oh, it's just sad seeing my King George sink. But she was a good ship. She was worthy. She took on the Scharnhorst, she took on the Dunkirk, and she even took on one of the sneakiest destroyers in the game before heading off to her watery grave. So if we can have a moment of silence for my King George, which will probably never get played again now, because now it's all going to be about the Vanguard, and I'm playing with that and getting that upgraded. So yeah, the end of this match is going to be really, really boring. So that's how I generally deal with destroyers. I don't know if anyone else has got any pro anti-destroyer tips out there, but you know, slowing down and speeding up is one that can throw them off. personally, just playing with the rudder a little bit, I seem to find works really well. But please, if you've got any others, pop them in the comments, because we're all about improving and learning. Yes, the streams are just purely for fun, but I try to embed a little bit of educational topics every now and again. And yeah, this battleship that's left is just going to make a run for the map border. We're just waiting for good old Indianapolis, who, in all fairness, if you look at the battleship that was over that flank with me, is only now making it just past the halfway mark up the map. So it could have, I might not have died if he'd actually given some support. But we won, so who's to complain? So yeah, put your anti-DD in when playing battleship torpedoes in the comments, and we can have a look and see what works and what doesn't, hopefully. Right, and see, if that DD wasted less time with me, he could have come back. Could have possibly attacked the battleship, which pretty much capped the base. So there we go. Battle results ends. 103,000 damage, arsonist and close quarters expert with our 2 kills, and just over 2,000 base XP, and reasonable amount of credits for a tier 6. So do hope you enjoyed, and until next time, take care.